Hey, what's up, YouTube fans? So what I wanted to talk about in this video, right, something I talk about oftentimes and I think about, right, is how the intelligent design movement, their attempt at an explanation, it's really crappy because they don't really give us any specific ideas. They don't really tell us like what really is this, like they only talk in abstract terms. They don't actually tell us like what, if anything, physically is there that's doing this, like this quote-unquote designer. Like, what do you really mean by that? What are its body parts? Like what is the mechanism through which it quote-unquote designed things, right? Because like they'll talk about how us humans design different things like cars, watches, mousetraps, whatever, but humans don't just like speak things up into existence. You know, our skillfulness in designing things comes back to our sensory organs, our brain, our muscles, our fingers, all of that. It isn't just like some like magical supernatural ability, right? And so just saying like intelligent design, if you're not like telling us specifically what this thing is, it's not really in of itself an explanation, right? And I mean, they'll be real insistent about this idea, but they don't really even have a clear idea about what this supposed explanation is. It's not really telling us how it happened. But so in any event, when I bring this up, when I'm like debating them, right, what oftentimes they'll say is, many of them will say, not all of them, but many, maybe even most of them will say like, oh no, he does have those things. He has, you know, eyes and hands, and that's what the Bible says. But even still, in that instance, it really isn't really clear what really they have in mind, because so a few things. One, oftentimes they'll like also say that he has like hair and mouth and legs and things, but it's like, okay, it obviously wouldn't have to be the same as a human. So like sometimes they'll like quote the Bible saying like, oh, this is what the Bible says God is like, but it's like, I'm not asking what you think the Bible says that God is like. I'm asking what you think that we can infer are the physical qualities of this thing, just based on the things that you're trying to use it as an explanation for, like the things that you're saying need a designer, quote unquote. What body parts, if any, are you saying that we can infer that this thing must have, just based on the things that you're trying to explain it with? So that's one thing. And then another thing, if they say that it has eyes, like you mean like literally eyes, like in the sense of being an organ? Because why would it have to be like literal eyes as opposed to being like a camera? And why would it have to be more than one? Like, wouldn't just one quote unquote eye be good enough? And like, do you have any specifics on like what type of camera? And then if you say that he has hands, presumably it wouldn't have to be like muscle and nerve and things like that. And presumably it wouldn't even have to necessarily be 5 fingers. You know, it wouldn't even necessarily have, like, it's not clear, like, so do you think that he would have wrists then? And what about elbows? You know, and so really it's not really at all still giving me like a clear idea, right, as to like what specifically are like the physical qualities that we can infer this thing has, right? And if there aren't any that we can infer that it has, like physical qualities, then how is it really an explanation, right? Because otherwise you're just talking in abstract terms, right? So, all right, that's all for now. See you guys.